Sometimes I say that I want you back, but I don't know if I do. Sometimes I think about the good days we had.
Hey Gear Seekers, I'm Nick. You guys asked for it, here it is. We're checking out another ASUS board. We're checking out the ASUS TUF Gaming Z490 Plus Wi-Fi. Wow, that is an absolute mouthful. Anyway, guys, this is not a review. As you already know, that's just how we do our motherboard videos. I'm gonna stop talking and we're gonna roll the intro. Let's do it. As I mentioned in the intro, this video is not a review, this is just an overview so you can get an idea of what comes in the box with a brand new motherboard like this Z490 TUF Gaming Plus Wi-Fi. Wow, that is a lot to remember. Anyway, let's take a closer look. Alright ladies and gents, it's time to check out the TUF Gaming Z490 Plus Wi-Fi from ASUS. Alright, you know what we're gonna do, standard stuff. Let's get the motherboard out of the box, out of the way, so we can take a little bit of a closer look at all the things that come with this board. First up, we've got the shark fin Wi-Fi antenna for the built-in Wi-Fi 6 or Wi-Fi AX. Okay, let's take that giant cover off the top so we can take a bit of a closer look at the other stuff. Alright, we've got an I/O shield. Now this is the first time I've seen an I/O shield in quite a while because most of the time they are now integrated onto the motherboard. There's also two SATA or SATA cables for your 2.5-inch SSDs or your spinning rush drives. There's some M.2 mounting hardware. This is basically to mount the M.2 drives on your motherboard, and there's also a little isolation pad as well. There's also this little odd piece of hardware. It's a fan mounting bracket. It allows you to mount a fan directly to the motherboard. There's also this circular round plastic device that no one has a drive to read. And I know I continue to make these jokes, but it would cost almost nothing for them to add USB sticks in motherboard boxes. There's also these little stickers. This is a bunch of battery decals so you can really tough up your gaming rig with some extra battery decals. There's the user guide. This is excellent. This basically shows you where everything is on the motherboard, what everything is on the motherboard, and some BIOS options to configure your motherboard. And this is an excellent bit of kit for first-time builders and people who've built 100,000 PCs before. There's also this is the contact information for warranty, and yeah, this is basically just like an update on all of those phone numbers if you were to call ASUS. There's also this certificate of reliability letting us know that it's reliable. It's on a certificate. It must be right? Like, I can't be making this stuff up. Rightio. Next up is the motherboard layout guide. This is excellent for first-time builders and for people who aren't quite sure what things are on the motherboard. But enough of all of that stuff. Let's take a look at the board itself. Let's unsheath it from the plastic anti-static bag and take a closer look at the Z490 TUF Plus Gaming Wi-Fi. Alright, there's a front panel audio header, there's a serial port connector next to that, there is also a Thunderbolt header, this is if you're using an add-in card, there's a PWM fan connector, there's a bunch of USB 2.0 headers, one is half size, it's for a single USB port to be added, there's another PWM fan connector, there's 4 SATA or SATA ports for your 2.5-inch SSDs or your spinning rush drives, there's a 12-volt RGB header, and the front panel connector for all your lights and all your switches to make your system turn on. There's 2 more SATA or SATA ports for your 2.5-inch SSDs or your spinning rush drives. There's a USB 3.2 port. There's a 24-pin power connector to send all of the juice to your brand new Z490 Plus TUF Gaming Wi-Fi. There's a 3-pin 5-volt addressable RGB header, and right on the top right-hand side of the board, there's another 12-volt RGB header. There's also 2 PWM fan connectors typically used for CPU fans and AIO pumps, and there's an 8-pin EPS power connector with a 4-pin EPS power connector right next to that. Above the PCIe slots, you'll notice there's 2 more PWM fan connectors. There's 2x16 size PCIe slots. The top one is a x16 slot, the one towards the bottom is a x4 slot, and there's also 3x1 slots on the board as well. Because this is a Z490 board, it features Intel's brand new Z490 chipset for the 10th gen Comet Lake S CPUs, and because it's Z490, it doesn't need to be actively cooled. This board also features a 12+2 digital VRM setup. I'm not sure of the amperage on the power stages, but yeah, it does have a 12+2 phase VRM setup. Right next to the DDR4 RAM slots, there's also an additional USB Type-C front panel header. There's 4 DDR4 RAM slots which support a total of 128 gigs of RAM at 4600 megahertz overclocked. If we flip the board over, you'll see there's not a lot going on here. This is pretty standard for tough boards. They're usually supposed to be entry-level to mid-range budget motherboards. And because this is a Z490 board, it does feature Intel's brand new LGA 1200 socket that supports 10th gen CPUs and more specifically the Comet Lake S CPUs. And as you can see, the notch on the socket has been moved to the bottom of the socket. And if we take off that M.2 heatsink, we'll take a bit of a closer look at both M.2 slots. Because this is more of a entry level / budget oriented motherboard, there's only 2 M.2 slots in total. For rear I/O, we've got a PS2 port, some USB ports, there's a DisplayPort connector and an HDMI port. If you were to be using a CPU with integrated graphics and no GPU, there's some USB 3.2 ports, a USB Type-C port. It's got gigabit Ethernet, it's got the antenna connectors for the built-in Wi-Fi AX or the Wi-Fi 6. It's got 7.1 digital surround sound with SPDIF and optical out. And as you can see here, there's no integrated I/O shield. Let's be roll time, let's do it. Alright ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this first look and overview of the brand new ASUS TUF Gaming Z490 Plus Wi-Fi. It's actually becoming a bit harder to say every single time I need to say it, and I know for a fact in the voiceover I purposely said it wrong a few times. Anyways guys, if you're interested in grabbing one of these boards, they're going for around $189 US, around $399 Australian dollars at the time of filming. Obviously with these prices and stuff, it will fluctuate up and down. Now this board is really meant to be that entry level for Z490, and that's kind of the way that tough boards are. They're kind of like that entry point for most people, and I think it's feature-wise, it's actually pretty good. It's got a USB Type-C front panel header, which everyone loves. Personally, it's not something that I use at all, ever. I never use front panel USB-C. I always use it on the back because I always have problems with it on the front panel, but that's another topic for a whole different day. We're not going to dive into that today, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you like the music that you heard here, I make all the music here on the channel. It's available over on our Patreon, and if you want to help support the channel, you can click that join button. I've actually started a new weekly series about me getting healthy and all of that stuff. That is available to our YouTube members. It's available on Floatplane and also on Patreon as well. So we're actually uploading that series to 3 different platforms. So yeah, if you want to like the video, you know what to do, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, you know what to do, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, all that YouTube stuff. And if you hated everything about what I said and everything about this video, you can hit that dislike button twice. Once again, thank you so very much for watching. I'm your boy Nick with Gear Seekers. You peek, we seek. And guys, you've been asking for ASUS for the longest time on the channel, and now we're getting boards, and now we're going to do a lot more stuff with them as well. So get excited. We will be covering as much as possible. And also, I just wanted to add before I forget, we have a lot more B550 boards coming. The problem that we're having is shipping delays from Taiwan and Hong Kong. We've got like a whole stack of motherboards that have they're just stopped moving for the last week. So there's not a lot we can do because they're physically not arriving. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching.